So quickly, after completing the first set of heats, now onto the second batch. So Micromax Noah Janssen, who won the first heats a little bit earlier on by just over 1.6 seconds, starts on pole position. Arjen Kreling alongside Gabriel Hoffmann, who finished second in the previous race, starts on the inside of row number 2. Carlos Nees, who finished 5th in the first race, starts P4. Nicolas Casarino, who starts in 5th, finished 3rd in the first race. Len Abbas finished 7th, starts alongside the number 12. Christos Malakos in 7th, ahead of Max Moore, Tim Stieger, Leon Blaskowitz, Leopold Juch and Jolina Schultz. That is your 12-strong grid. So Gabriel Hoffmann took the fastest lap in the previous race, a 52.004 second lap time. What's going to happen here? Is Noah Janssen going to be put under the kibosh yet again and be pressurised going into turns 1 and 2 for the first time of asking? Well, we're very much in the case of thinking that could be found out in just a few moments' time, because another 7 minutes on the clock, plus an additional lap for these drivers. So it is Janssen. Will Kreling have a better effort this time around, or will Hoffmann get the jump? Let's see what happens. Janssen on pole, Kreling alongside. Then it's Hoffmann, and then Nees alongside the number 95. Next up, it is Casarino and Abbas. That is your top 6. 12 drivers set to compete in this race as they make their way down towards the far part of the circuit. And then we will be racing once again. So this is where Janssen will start hopefully pushing forward and extend that championship lead come the end of this weekend. But that's easier said than done. It is a marathon, not a sprint. But you try telling a racing driver that, they're probably going to ignore you and think, what are you talking about? Oh, now, hang on a second. We just had 2 drivers go into... Oh, and that includes Noah Janssen. So I would think that looks to be more than likely. Is that going to be a... That was Noah Janssen and Arjen Kreling that both went in at the same time. So was there an issue for them? Because that has really... That's a full start right there. I thought that might be the case. And we've got an issue there. That is Christos Malakos trying to get going again. Number 27 now, stuck on turn 3. So, yeah, so we had... so I would imagine, have both Janssen and Kreling suffered some dramas, because that changes the complexity of the race. Well, there is Kreling, who's just gotten to the front of the field. And where is Noah Janssen? Because Janssen will have probably been able to get out in time. That's the biggest quandary here, because that effectively means that Arjen Kreling has... So there is Malakos's cart now pushed aside. The youngster, unfortunately, very disappointed that not able to race, and this does happen in karting. So the biggest question is, what is happening with Noah Janssen? Because this has changed everything, because now, look at Gabriel Hoffmann. He's effectively got a run. Now, the thing is that he's going to have to stay behind Kreling as far as I'm concerned. Right, into the tram lines we go. Janssen's on the edge of the pre-grid, so they've let them go racing. The timer has started ticking down. So Kreling is leading. Hoffmann in second. Casarino. And then it looks like Tim Stieger trying to make his way up, but it looks to be nearly 3 abreast going into turn 3. Don't do that. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's one thing that you do find, that sometimes drivers get a bit overzealous and they decide to make it 3 wide through turn 3 here at Kerpen. That never happens. That never happens at all. They do say that at points on the circuit it is 7 metres wide. Yeah, well, you try putting Micromax drivers 3 abreast going through turn 3. That particular point on the circuit is not 7 metres wide, I can guarantee you that much. So Noah Janssen is start now. I think, as my good friend Mr. Henry Baudet would say, Noah Janssen's got to do a top gear from the rear. He is closing on those in front. As Kreiling leads from Hoffman, Casarino, that's the top three. Carlos Nees in fourth. Len Abbas in fifth place. And Casarino trying to go side pod to side pod with Hoffman, but can't get through. But on this particular occasion, Casarino gets through, and that was through the left-hander. Looked to be through what would have been turn 5. Excuse me. So now there is a change for second position. We're about to complete lap number 2 of this race. I will be pinging a message to Max Fleischmann if he's there at the moment for FM Racing to find out what happened with Noah Janssen. So Janssen was allowed to go into the repair area, but would have had to start according to current regulations in the pre-grid as Casarino looking up the inside of Kreiling, but Kreiling was able to keep in front. Casarino again on the offensive, but that could open the door for Hoffman. And now Casarino looking up the inside to go and get the lead. And has he got through? Yes, he has. And here comes Gabriel Hoffman through nearly side pod to side pod with Arjen Kreiling, but does not force the issue. One of the biggest rules in racing, never take out your teammate. So Christos Melakos, unfortunately, not having the greatest time, didn't even make it to the start, as Noah Janssen finds himself a little bit on the back foot, has yet to cross the line, I think. Oh, so Noah Janssen's technical dramas have continued. That means things are changing here, because now Arjen Kreiling up the inside of Niklas Casarino to retake the lead. Here comes Gabriel Hoffman looking to the inside of the number 12. Can't get through thus far, but through the next left-hander could be an opportunity for the number 95. Decides to think better of it. And there is Carlos Nees, not too far behind, and has a chance at closing them down. So no dramas for Niklas Casarino. The kart has decided to become his worst enemy. And the number 12 is slowing significantly there. Hang on a second. Well, Noah Janssen is actually out on track and has got past Leopold Juch, but Niklas Casarino was second, and that has changed the situation again. So first, Christos Melakos breaks down before we even before we go on to our second restart. Niklas Casarino on lap number 5 of the race, whilst second behind Arjen Kreiling and ahead of Gabriel Hoffman, breaks down. This has got so many twists and tales. I wouldn't have believed it if you'd given me a Hollywood script. Unfortunately, we've just had our first corridor penalty. And for 2 wheels out of the tram lines, Jolina Marie Schulz gets a 3-second time penalty for braking formation by putting 2 wheels out of the tram lines at the start. So broke formation, gets a 3-second time penalty, and that could possibly drop the number 13 out of the top 8, depending on the gaps behind. And here is the battle for the lead. Arjen Kreiling and Gabriel Hoffman. Hoffman has been looking at an opportunity to lead. And let's see, has he got in front? He has. That's a great move there by Gabriel Hoffman. Just wound up, waited, bided time, and then sprung into action. Oh, now. Incorrect starting position penalty has just been given. Arjen Kreiling gets a 5-second time penalty from race control for being in the incorrect starting position. So that is why he will get a 5-second time penalty post-race and will drop the number 62 outside of the top 5 by my reckoning. If things were to finish as they do now, that's quite a significant penalty there. So Gabriel Hofmann leads. Arjen Kreling, who will drop down the order. That means that Carlos Nies in the number 15 will be promoted post-race to second position at the end of it all. Noah Janssen, I think, has pulled into the pits again. Well, I'm not too sure whether there's an issue with Noah Janssen's transponder. So 2 retirements. Christos Malakos, Niklas Casarino, unfortunately out of the race. We're into the final 50 or so seconds plus an additional lap. So we are on to lap number 8 as Kreling looking up the inside of Hofmann. But Hofmann not giving an inch, not allowing Arjen Kreling to take a mile in terms of the gaps right there. Carlos Nies still very much in the ringside seat position there as the number 15. As they go through the sweeping S-bends once again. And Kreling trying to assert some pressure onto Gabriel Hofmann, but Hofmann keeping resolute, keeping calm. The timer is about to hit 0, so I would imagine we're going to be on to the final lap momentarily, because now the timer, as they come through into the left-hander, timer hit 0. Final lap board out this time. Hofmann still leads. As we go on to the 9th and final lap, Kreling looking up the inside. Hofmann keeps it pinned. And Kreling backs out of it, thought better of it. Into 3 for the final time. Now into turns 4, then into 5. You can just see how close it is between this trio. And the gap between Hofmann and Kreling after the previous lap was just 1.1 of a second. Now it's the run towards the checkered flag. It has been nip and tuck. And Arjen Kreling will be demoted down to what will be 5th at the end of this race. But out of the final corner, Gabriel Hofmann holds on and takes a well-earned victory and celebrates the minute he crosses the line with both hands off the wheel in celebration. That just shows how much it means to these youngsters. And, Hoffman's still celebrating. I'm sure that he is grinning like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. And I know that some of his family further over in Europe are watching. So I'm sure they're jumping up and down off the sofas, off the ceilings. A nice little celebration there from Carlos Nies, who will take second at the end of this race. So Gabriel Hofmann takes the win. Carlos Nies will take second. Third will be Len Abbas. Tim Steiger will be in 4th. Arjen Kreling will be demoted to 5th at the end of this race with that post-race penalty. Max Moore, Leon Blashkowitz and Leopold Juch with Jolina Schultz rounding out the 9 strong that finished. Schultz gets a penalty for 2 wheels out of the tram lines, with Niklas Casarino and Noah Janssen out on lap 4, with Christos Malakos not even making the start.